The next speaker, I think, was last in Big Sur, California. And he said I can introduce him any way I want, which is always dangerous. He's actually not really a speaker. He's going to be the one getting you guys chanting, getting you guys excited. He helps with rallies and organizes rallies all over the country. He's done a lot of them for Mind Freedom International, and we're very fortunate to have him here. His organization started and runs one of the peer-run respites in upstate New York. He's a survivor. He identifies himself as a survivor of the psychiatric system and the penal system. He's been an amazing person, friend to Advocacy Unlimited. He's answered every call, every question, text probably every day since the tragedy in Newtown. He's been amazing for us. So it's my pleasure to bring up my friend, Daniel Hazen. Can you hear me? Yeah! A little louder, can you hear me? Yeah! All right, we're going to start this off a different way. When I say, what do you want? You say human rights. When I say, when do we want them? You say now. What do you want? Human rights! What do you want? Now! What do you want? Human rights! What do you want? Now! What do you want? Now! There's people in this building right here behind us. I was walking around casing the joint. That's kind of my job when I get here. A lot of politicians, dressed up people. I'm not sure what's going on in there. A little gala, a little event today. The idea here is to let them hear us, to let them know that we're outside here. Louder! So I'm not really good with a microphone here. I'm better off with a megaphone, but I'll do that a little bit later. I come from New York State originally. I'm not sure really where I'm from right now, just trying to travel around the country. Where actually involuntary outpatient commitment came from, and under the disguise of what's called Kendra's Law. And recently our, well, I don't consider him my governor because I didn't vote for him, but Governor Cuomo decided to initiate some more forced treatment around his gun control and bill issue. And then this was shortly after the situation that took place here in your state. So I want to just really point out some things here about the value and the importance of all of you, and especially Darren and Greg, who really spent some time organizing and gathering this and really putting time and effort into challenging the testimony, or bringing the testimony and challenging the bill that was being put forth or is being put forth in your state. So I just want to really say that Darren and Greg have been powerful organizers and leaders for you in this state, and if we could give them a big shout out. It's some of the hardest work that you can do, and some of you know that. And I also want to say thanks for coming out, because it's not warm here. I just came in from California. It was a lot warmer than here. And it's not easy to organize around this. A lot of our brothers and sisters are locked up. A lot of our brothers and sisters won't get here in the next year or 2 years. And I want to be honest, a lot of our brothers and sisters will die in the system. They will be tortured. Their human rights will be violated. So Darren wanted me to talk a little bit about human rights. And I'm going to be brief because I think we need to get on with some great speakers that we have here or from around the country and this great state that I hope that will abolish this bill that's being presented in your state. There's a gentleman here, right here in front of me, that has a great poster, and it says, human rights, know them, demand them, and defend them. So I think one of the biggest things is you knowing that you are a human being. These aren't rights that are given to us from the United Nations. These aren't rights that are given to us from our government. These are beyond civil rights. These are your, whatever you believe in, your God-given rights, your evolutionary rights. You as a human being, know those rights. Know that you have the right not to be violated, that you have the right not to be tortured, you have the right not to be put in an institution and held there for this many years. Please know this, and know that we have to stand up and fight for the people who are locked up, confined, and brainwashed by this system. That's the part where demanding them comes in. You're demanding them right now. We're standing out on this Capitol grounds where you live, where you reside in this state, you're standing here demanding your rights. Don't let it stop here. Go to the halls of these places, testimony, do it. Tell them your stories. Tell them that they can't violate your human rights. So, I'm getting a little shaky here because I'm getting excited, but I want to tell you, the hardest part is defending our human rights. This is the hardest part. It's really a time in our country, all across this country, probably the world internationally, where we are the most oppressed people. People who are labeled by psychiatry, who are being put and locked away, even in our communities. We're being invaded by psychotropic drugs that cause harm to people. If you choose to use them, that's fine. If you don't want to use them, nobody should be coercing you or forcing you onto these. So I'm asking you, I'm going to ask you, when you leave here today, that it doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop. We have to defend. We have to take the actions of nonviolent civil disobedience, and we have to start handcuffing ourselves to buildings. We have to go into institutions and demand that people be freed. That's defending our human rights. So remember this. It's not over when we leave here today. It's just begun. We have this thing that we will be back. Remember this, you will be back. And I'm going to tell you, it's not win or lose. They may win. That law may go through, but go down fighting. All of us have to go down fighting with this. And we'll come back, and we'll tell them, and we'll abolish this shit. We will abolish this. Those little kids here, there are little kids here. They will face the worst of this in the future. They will face the worst. If you have children, I have children. I do not want my children to be psychiatrized. I don't want my children to be locked up. I don't want my children to be involuntary outpatient committed. So, I'm going to let Darren come back up here. I'll get off my soapbox here, and we'll start today's events with some really great speakers. I want to thank you all for coming out, bearing the cold. Please, please keep in mind this is just the beginning. I love you all.